Hi everyone, welcome to the Global Sports Channel's Football Show, week 33. I'm your host, David Barbash. Thanks for tuning in. You can check us out on globalsportschannel.com. You could also check us out and listen to us on the podcast on iTunes. Well, we're going to check out the games for week 33, and it started off on Tuesday. Chelsea, the favourites, at home to Brighton Hove Albion, 64% possession for Chelsea. But despite starting Christian Pulisic, Kai Havertz, Hikam Ziyech and Marcus Alonso, it was a 0-0 draw. Chelsea have to be disappointed overall. They did call Timo Werner in the second half, Callum Hudson-Odoi and Olivier Giroud, but to no avail. It ended up one apiece in terms of points. Wednesday came around and Spurs were looking to get back in the win column after having fired Jose Mourinho as coach and manager. And they were 2-1 winners coming from behind against Southampton. The visitors have to feel or consider themselves unlucky. Danny Ings putting them up in the 30th minute. They had 8 shots on goal. Spurs also 8 shots on goal. Gareth Bale, second half, 60th minute equaliser. And then Son popping up with the penalty in the 90th minute, stealing what I think was all 3 points for Spurs. However, 62% possession for Spurs. They stop the rot and they gain valuable points. Wednesday, the second game up was Aston Villa against Man City, the leaders. First minute of the game, John McGinn, you couldn't get off to a better start. 1 minute in, they go up. 22nd minute, Phil Foden, the youngster who's been really hot of late for Manchester City, he equalises. They have 10 shots on goal and they wrap up all 3 points in the 40th minute. However, in the 44th minute, John Stones gets sent off and it gets a bit tighter, the game. However, Matthew Cash for the Villains gets sent off in the 57th minute, and it snuffs out any chance that Villains have for a tie. It's 2-1 win for Manchester City away from home. We had a bunch of games on Thursday. One game on Thursday, and that was Leicester City 3-0 blowout winners at home to West Brom. Jamie Vardy in the 23rd minute, Johnny Evans with a defensive goal in the 26th minute, and Kelechi Iheanacho, one of my favourites, in the 36th minute, and they wrap up all 3 points for Leicester City. Leicester City looking to wrap up third place, and I think they're looking good for top 4 and European places, but we still have some games to play. Friday came around, and one of the biggest surprises of the week was Arsenal losers at home to Everton. Cruel game and a cruel finish for Arsenal. 59% possession. Starting Smith Rowe, Nicolas Pepe, Eddie Nketiah was the biggest surprise for me. Super sub gets the start. No Lacazette, no Aubameyang. However, in the 76th minute, Bernd Leno in the Arsenal goal, scores an own goal, and Everton go on to win the game 1-0 despite only 1 shot on target. Calvert-Lewin striking blanks, as Richarlison and Sigurdsson do, but it's at the end result that counts. They take all 3 points, and Arsenal slip from 9th place. And you'll see later in the games where my side, Leeds United, capitalise on that. Saturday came around and it was a surprise tie. Liverpool tying Newcastle at home 1-1. Started off really, really good in the 3rd minute. Mo Salah with a well-taken goal. They dominate possession, 69%. 17 shots on goal versus only 5 shots on goal for Newcastle. Last kick of the game, this is what happens when you don't convert the chances that you have. 17 chances, and Newcastle for Liverpool, and Newcastle score an equaliser with the last shot of the game. Joe Willock unmarked, and he scores in the 95th minute. Liverpool, it's going to be tough to finish in the top four for them. They're still not out of European places for the Champions League, but I think they might be starting to pay attention for making maybe the Europa League. But however, I know Liverpool fans are going to be angry at that. They'll probably say, hey, it's not over till the last few games, and it's still not over. So let's keep an eye on that. West Ham were up next at home to Chelsea. Really tight game. However, Chelsea, 43rd minute, Timo Werner, a rare start in the last few games. He scores. Chelsea, 55% possession, 12 shots on goal versus 6 for West Ham. They take all 3 points. The last game on Saturday was David McCauley's Sheffield United, already relegated. I feel, growing up in Yorkshire, I felt bad for the Sheffield United squad. However, the Blades really, no pressure. You've already been relegated under the new manager, replacement manager, Paul Heckingbottom. And you've got no pressure. So they pop up, David McGoldrick, with a goal in the 19th minute. They hold on for all 3 points, and Brighton don't capitalise on moving up the table. Now, Sunday's games were interesting. We had some surprises. The first game up was a surprise. Now, Wolves, we know that they've had, obviously, really their talisman. They lost to a skull fracture earlier in the season, and they really haven't replaced him. So they started Daniel Pedece, Adama Traore, and they did have some chances. They had 7 shots on goal, but Burnley, surprising Burnley, 4-0 winners with a Chris Wood hat-trick in the 15th, 21st and 44th minute. And Ashley Westwood wraps up all 3 points in the 85th minute. Chris Wood, when he played striker for Leeds United, I loved him. The Kiwi rediscovering his form in the last few games, and Burnley, instead of slipping towards the bottom 3, have really moved up away from the bottom 3, deservedly so. Now, what was the next game coming up, you're thinking? It was my side, Leeds United, the Whites, a 0-0 draw at home to Manchester United in second place, and Leeds with the 1 point awarded for the draw, the 0-0 draw. We move up into 9th place. Overall, we've got to consider ourselves fortunate. Manchester United had a little bit more possession, 56%. They had 11 shots on goal versus 4 for Leeds. However, Lorente immense at the back for Leeds, as well as the youngster Pascal Struijk, the Dutchman, 6'5" Dutchman, doing a great job at marshalling and handling the strikers. Rashford, Greenwood, not a lot of chances, really solid chances. Bruno Fernandes really wrapped up by Calvin Phillips. And a little bit disappointing performance by Bamford for Leeds. He's looked a bit flat, looked a bit off. Rafinha, missing Rafinha, Leeds. I think we really missed him. Helder Costa wasn't great on the afternoon. But both sides take a point, and we move on. Now, Aston Villa, villains at home to West Bromwich Albion. West Bromwich Albion, still in the bottom 3, 19th place. They needed all 3 points. They looked like they were going to get all 3 points. However, El Ghazi put the villains up in the 9th minute with a penalty. Mateus Pereira, with his own penalty, equalises 23rd minute. Then the villains commit a cardinal sin. They score an own goal through Tyrone Mings, and West Brom thinks all 3 points are ours. And right in added time before the end of the game, Keenan Davis, West Brom, falls asleep. He gets the equaliser. And I think Big Sam Allardyce has got to feel a bit aggrieved, but the villains take it, the point, and both sides, really, they don't change position in the table. Now, only a few games left were on Monday. We had the sole EPL game, and that was Leicester City, the Foxes, 2-1 winners at home to Crystal Palace, who went up in the 12th minute. Wilfried Zaha returning to the squad for Roy Hodgson's side. He put them up, deservedly so, but 11 shots on goal for the Foxes. And in the second half, Brendan Rodgers' side really deserved the victory. Castagna put the equaliser in the 50th minute, and my favourite, Kelechi Iheanacho, wraps up all 3 points in the 80th minute. That puts them in third place behind Manchester City in first and second place, Man United. The Foxes are dangerous. They've been playing pretty well lately. Let's see what happens at the end of the season. Now, let's go through the tables. Now, at the end of the week, we have Manchester City played 31. They've got 77 points. Second place, Manchester United played 33, 67 points. They're 10 points behind. Blew the opportunity to gain ground on Manchester City when they tied Leeds away from home. Leicester City gained some ground. They're 62 points, I should say, in third place. Chelsea also played 33 points. They're 58 points. West Ham in fifth, 55 points, played 33. Liverpool in the final top six spots for the European places, played 33, 54 points. My side, Leeds United, in ninth place, 7 points behind sixth place. In ninth, 47 points, and Arsenal in 10th place, 46 points played. Now, 2 more games were up in the last 2 days, and that was the 2 semi-finals for the Champions League. Some of these sides were in the discussion last week when we talked about the teams that were in the proposed Super League. Now, last week's broadcast, I mentioned that the Super League, 2 of the teams, right when I was broadcasting last week in the proposed 12-team breakaway, Manchester City and Chelsea pulled out of the proposed Super League because of the fan backlash and even some of the comments, not only by supporters, but some of the comments by FIFA and also some of the own managers around the world, such as Pep Guardiola, Jurgen Klopp being outspoken, not being fans of the proposed breakaway. The next day, all 6 British sides pulled out of the proposed Super League, and that's where we stand. I know the Spanish leagues like Real Madrid and Barca still maybe want to have this go ahead, but I think right now it's dead in the water. So let's keep our eyes glued to what happens in the future to the proposed, seemingly dead in the water, European Super League breakaway. Now, the first Champions League game up yesterday was Real Madrid at home to Chelsea, a 1-1 draw after Christian Pulisic got the very valuable away goal for Chelsea in the 14th minute, only for Karim Benzema to equalise in the 29th minute. Pretty even game, equal amount of shots on goal, 7 apiece, 51% possession for Real, 49 for Chelsea. And just before the broadcast tonight, we had PSG losing at home 2-1 to Manchester City after Marquinhos, or I should say Marquinhos, had put PSG up 1-0 in the 15th minute. Now, in the second half, Kevin De Bruyne equalised for the Man City in the 64th minute, and Rio Mahrez with the winner in the 71st minute. With Mbappe, Neymar and Di Maria up front for PSG, you thought they still could pull it back and equalise. However, having Idrissa Gueye sent off in the 77th minute didn't do any good for them. And it looks like the 2 British sides are in the driver's seat going into the second legs, but anything can happen. That was the wrap for week 33 for the EPL. as well as the Champions League. And we will see you back next week. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Have a wonderful rest of the week. Stay healthy. And sports really unites, and that's what we need around the globe right now, is unity versus division. And stay healthy and be safe. We'll see you next week. Take care. From the Global Sports Channel, we thank you again. Take care.